Doc, first and foremost, congratulations again. I know you've talked a lot about the emotions of leading up to this day and getting that call from Steve Cohen. How would you describe the moment that you got that call through to where you are right now?
Oh, man. I remember getting a call, and like I was saying earlier, you don't know if it's a prank call because I have some crazy teammates. Yeah. Or was it really Steve? Because I never talked to him on the phone. But then when you realize it's real, it sinks in a little bit, and you're like, wow, man, I can't believe this is happening. Mm-hmm. And obviously the first call you want to make to your parents, but unfortunately not here. But I got to share that with my kids. I called each one. I said, you're not going to believe what's happening. I told them, I talked to Gary, my nephew. Then I talked to Straw a little bit about what's going on, and he had got the same message. So all the momentum leading up to it, and then like when I came here, I guess 2 weeks ago to do the walkthrough, that's when it really hit me, what was going on and what's going to take place. It was something that I always wanted, an opportunity just to come back in front of the fans to let them know what they meant to me, to my career, and when I was struggling off the field, what they meant to me, and I get the opportunity to do that. And that's why I always say it's a celebration instead of just a number retirement, because so many people played a part of that, not just for the number getting retired, but for me being here today.
What did those fans mean to you?
They made a great deal because we're connected, I think, in 84-85. I remember them standing with, I got 2 strikes. But then when I had my downfall, just starting in 87, they still were supportive. I remember the first game back against the Pirates, it was a sellout crowd, guys just cheering. And then later on, unfortunately, when I was retired, I had problems. Just I go to the grocery store, wherever you see a fan, you talk to somebody, they want to know, how are you doing as a person? How's your health? That meant more to me than just a baseball player because that let me know that they really cared.
Did that surprise you at all? I think now some of the struggles you went through are more understood. But back then, that was something that was not understood the way it is today. So did it surprise you to get that level of support still while you were going through that at the time?
It did because you don't know what to expect. And I remember the first time I went to Spenders, I thought my life was over because I didn't grow up that way. I had great parents, had great surroundings, but I made some bad choices. And then, addiction doesn't, I'll come back to it. But anyway, that discriminating. Addiction doesn't discriminate. Mm-hmm. And it hit me, and I didn't know what the problem was in denial. And when I got out of Smithers, I saw that the fans still loved me and probably loved me even more because as a person. But there's some people who take shots or whatever, but that was understandable. I think now with mental health and addiction and all that, people are starting to understand, and I always try to be as honest as I possibly can and open about it, even though at times it hurt because I have kids and grandkids got to deal with that and deal with people at school making fun of them. But I just talk to them all the time and just try to explain to them the best I can that it's a disease and not, weakness.
So you mentioned the fan base and how supportive they were off the field, but certainly on the field. Everybody talks about when you were pitching every 5th day, it was unlike anything else that they've experienced in sports. As the guy that was the center of that, very few will ever get to experience that type of adulation. How would you best describe what those moments were like for you on the field?
Oh, man. When you go into that, especially I would say the 85 season, when I was in the middle of the season going through that, I accepted the challenge. And what I mean by it was the fans wanted the 10-plus strikeouts. Mm-hmm. They wanted the shutout. They wanted a complete game, and they wanted you to do it in a good fashion way. And then I had Gary Carter, my catcher, who demanded nothing but domination out of me. And so anytime we scored a couple runs early, I didn't care if we scored again or not. I just wanted to be out on the field. No disrespect to the other players and teammates, but it was bigger than just a game. It was more like they say an event, and I accepted that. I had a lot of confidence in my ability, and as long as I had Gary back there, my security blanket, I knew we could accomplish that. But it's one of the greatest feelings I could have, and I don't think I could have enjoyed it more at the time because you're going through it with expectations and stuff. But now that I'm retired and everything's coming full circle now, I get to look at it with my grandkids and kids and really, really look back at it and enjoy it.
Looking back on it, how do you think you were able to thrive in that type of pressure to not just win but perform the way you talked about? And at that age, you're 19, 20 years old. How were you able to follow through and meet those expectations?
I think my father played a big part of that. Growing up, teaching me all the mechanics, he always talked to me about trusting yourself, having confidence in yourself, no matter what you're doing in life. Always believe in your ability, not overconfidence or cocky, but confidence in your ability. And once I got to the majors, he said, try not to pay attention to the names on the back of the jerseys. Just make your pitches. But it's hard not to pay attention to Pete Rose and Mike Schmidt and Bill Murphy. But you try to do that and try to get locked in and make your pitches. And I think the more games I got in, the more confidence I got. My dad, I used to have to call my dad after every game before I talked to the media. And we'd just go over the game. Mm-hmm. And him and Mel Stoudemire, my pitcher coach, they had a great relationship. And Mel always brought the best of me as well. So I just had some good people around me. They helped me with my mechanics and helped me with my maturity as a baseball player.
Talking about your father, you've said often that it was really his dream first to have you make the big leagues, and that the only time other than when your grandmother passed away that you saw him cry was when you did make the big leagues. Yeah. What would today mean to him?
Oh, man, I couldn't even imagine. That's what kind of hit me up there. I was just thinking about when I got the call to share that with him, I can't even imagine. If they say after life after death there is life, if he's watching now, I could just only imagine what the cheer and the joy he's having right now enjoying this. And, I wish he was here to enjoy this with me, but unfortunately I'll share with my kids and grandkids. But I know he's got to be overjoyed with this.
Doc, last thing, 'cause I know you got a lot going on here today. You have talked, you mentioned a little bit earlier about the enjoyment when you were in it. And especially as those expectations continue to rise, you've said that the pressure sometimes took the joy out of the game. Do you have an expectation for how you'll be able to enjoy this moment, stepping back out there in front of the fans and getting that ovation once again?
I don't know. I have a good support group with me. I need that. Not that anything crazy, just to kind of support me and be there for me, like my teammates, Daryl and Gary. I don't know what to expect, because even just talking about it here, I could just imagine it. And you never know. Like, my emotions, I don't know where it's going to take me once I go out there and I hear that crowd, because it's like being home again. And it's something that I've dreamed of, not necessarily the number being retired, but just seeing the fans again and just want to thank them and let them know how much I appreciate them as much as they said they appreciated me.
Well, Doc, we certainly appreciate you and thank you for a few minutes, and congratulations again. A really exciting day. Well deserved.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being here. Thanks for having me. I look forward to talking to you guys too back home.